in a recap email. So keep an eye out for that. All right. I think it's time. Let's get started. So, how to overcome anxiety. This is, like I said, such a hot topic right now, and we're just so grateful for Allynn to be here. And for those who might not be familiar, we are Amala. We are a coaching company, and we cover all major pillars of coaching. So we are known for our career coaching. So career transition, finding a new job, finding your passion. We really, it's in our name, love your life. We're here to really help you with uncover that. Of course, there's leadership, and we have health and life coaching as well. Of course, we have Allynn as one of our experts in the health and life coaching, but we really cover all aspects. We are here, we're kind of a one-stop shop. We have career clients who come in ready to look for a new job, find their passion, and then slowly might transfer over to leadership coaching to help elevate your skills, or working on mindset work and physical health, mental health, emotional health. And as a member of Amla Vida, you get access to all 4 of those major domains. So just a nice little perk of working with us. All right, so I feel like I've talked plenty. So I'm going to go hand it over to the lovely Allynn to take it off. Thank you so much, Allynn.
Thank you, Jill. All right. So, hello, everyone. My name is Allynn Taylor. I am a certified life coach and career coach as well here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I also work with Ama Vida here. So, I specialize in helping professionals who feel burnt out to create a roadmap to have a healthy work life balance. So, I work with a lot of people who struggle with overcoming anxiety, struggle with dealing with stress, and really struggle with having a work life or a life balance as well. So I am so excited to get to know every one of you all as we continue to go through this workshop. This is also interactive. So please, if you have any questions, please feel free to share in the chat box and Jill will notify me. And if you do not understand anything, please let me know and notify me in the chat box so I can make sure that I go over everything. Now, just a few things here. I will encourage all of you all to take notes. So as soon as you press that escape button on your computer, you will be able to apply all of the tools that I will give you all today to help you to overcome your anxiety. So just a quick background information about me. So I've been a certified life coach since 2015. If you're not aware, some certified life coaches go through a governing body and it's called the International Coaching Federation, AKA the ICF. So I am also certified through the ICF as an ACC coach, which means I am an associate certified coach, which is the next tier above being a certified life coach. So I am well equipped and ready and very excited to teach you all of the tools that I know today to help you to overcome your anxiety. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for today's agenda, we are going to go over the cause of anxiety. We've already done the logistics, so no need to go over that. Talk about what worrying is, mindfulness, and we'll go over some mindfulness practices to help you. Also talking about trust and acceptance, meeting your future self, and how can I serve you, as well as any questions that you have, and I will be willing to answer them. So let's go ahead and dive in. So let's talk about what is the true cause of anxiety. So often, you all, we believe that our external conditions or our external circumstances are the cause of our anxiety. So, especially right now, we may be worried about the pandemic. We may be worried about our job security, the stock market, our finances, our kids, our health. It's a list of things that we could just be worried about. But upon closer investigation, you all, it is not our external factors, our external conditions, our external circumstances that are causing our worrying. It's our internal circumstances. So let's dive into that deeper. So let's talk about what worry really is. So now that we know that worrying is not caused by an external factor, it is simply, you all, just a particular type of thought pattern that's repeating itself over and over and over. So, what happens is that causes your worrying, that leads to your anxiety, is when you project your thoughts or you project your mind into the future and you imagine something going wrong. That is what causes your anxiety. Again, I repeat, when you project your mind or your thoughts into the future and you imagine something going wrong, you experience anxiety. Unfortunately, you all, your minds cannot tell the difference between this movie mental picture that you're creating in your head that's causing your anxiety versus in that moment, all is well and you're okay. And unfortunately, because your mind cannot tell the difference between what is reality and what's going on with the movie mental picture that you're creating in your head when you project your thoughts into the future and imagine something going wrong, it shows up physically. So that's when you can have panic attacks. That's when you feel tension in your muscles, maybe your neck, your shoulders, your back, or anywhere else you might experience aching when you're experiencing anxiety. And what happens is when you're constantly living in a state like this, you'll constantly be on edge, constantly be irritated, constantly be annoyed. And it really makes it hard for you to concentrate, to be in the present moment, to make clear choices that will help you to build a future that you actually like and enjoy. So let's talk about how we can overcome these things of these movie mental pictures that we're creating for ourselves. So, why mindfulness? And I would love for you all to type in the chat box right now. Who in here, yes or no, is aware of what mindfulness is? And as you all are chatting in your chat box, and Jill, what do you see right now? What are people saying?
Lots of yeses.
Yes, all right. You all are already on your way. So, if you are not aware of what mindfulness is, what that is being in the present moment, being here right now. And I want you all to realize is that the present moment is the only place that peace can reside. I repeat, the present moment is the only place where peace can reside. Now, I'm going to break this mindfulness down a little bit further for you all. So, when we're not in the present moment, our mind is in two different places. It's either the past or it's the future. So, let's talk about the past for a second. Can anybody in here please chat in the chat box? Can anybody in here change the past? If you can change the past, I need to talk to you. You have some powers. What are they saying, Jill? Can anybody change the past?
Nope. Definitely
Exactly.
not.
Exactly. And when we're in the past, we might be in a few different places, you all. We might be in life review, and life review is fine. That's simply seeing, what worked for you in the past, what didn't work for you in the past, and adjusting accordingly so you can live your life in a better way. But a lot of times, you all, when people are in the past, they're in that regret stage, that shoulda, coulda, woulda stage, that criticizing stage. Oh man, you're so stupid. Oh, you're not where you want to be right now. Oh, those mistakes that you made. Oh, I wish I had this. Oh, I wish I had that. And everyone in the chat box just said they cannot change the past. But a lot of times people allow themselves to let their thoughts stay in the past, and it's not helping them and it's not helping you because you can't control that. Again, you can be in life review and accept what worked and what didn't work, but allowing yourself to stay stuck in your past of something you can't control, it doesn't make sense. And one thing that I want you all to realize is when you're in your past often with your thoughts, you can experience depression, you can experience doubt, you can experience regret. And if you're unknowingly walking around with your thoughts always in the past and you're ruminating this type of energy and this type of thoughts and these type of feelings, it's going to be a repetitive cycle of the same thing over and over. And often we ask, oh my gosh, why does this keep happening? But I want you all to start being mindful of your thoughts, of where you are in the moment. And I also encourage you all to take the word decision out of your vocabulary. And I'm going to tell you why. So the word decision sounds so final. It sounds so permanent. It sounds cutthroat. That's it. When you make a decision, that's it. Oh my gosh, my life can go in a different direction if I do this decision. I encourage you all to take the word decision out of your vocabulary, especially if you have kids, and replace it with the word choice. Because when it comes to self development work, you all, you have to be mindful of how you speak to yourself. And a difference of a word can make a complete difference in your life. Because when you use the word choice instead of the word, oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. Instead of using the word decision, what happens is you can breathe a little and relax. Because when you make a choice, if you do not like that choice, you have the opportunity to choose again. And that's the beauty of life. And that's the beauty of making mistakes. Not only when it comes to mistakes, you get to learn, but you have the opportunity to grow from that and choose again. But if instead you choose to use the word decision, a lot of times you'll be making choices out of fear and creating a lifestyle that you pretty much do not enjoy. So I encourage you all again to try to keep yourself into the present moment because the present moment is the only place that peace can reside. Now, I would love for you all to type in the chat box as well. Who in here would like to change their set of current circumstances? Again, I repeat, who in here would like to change their set of current circumstances? Jill, what do we have right now?
We have a lot of me's.
All right. So, good news, everyone. Your current set of circumstances are a product of your past thoughts, choices, and beliefs. Those three things are creating your now, AKA your future. So if you do not like your current set of circumstances, what is happening now, your thoughts, your choices, your belief systems in the present moment is creating your what? Future. So that is good news. If you do not like that movie mental picture you're creating for your life and you can see it physically showing up in your life, you have the opportunity every single day, every single second to make choices that will affect your next set of circumstances. So speaking to the future, let's go to that place because remember, our mind is either in two places when we're not in the present moment, the past and the future. So who in here can change their future? Or let's say this, let me take that question back. Who in here can control their future? Meaning you know exactly what is going to happen and you can control the outcome of your future. You know how to do it. What do you see, Jill?
See, none of us, no.
Exactly. Exactly. But for some reason, some way, you all, we project our mind into the future and we feel like we can control the future. And everyone in here is saying, no, you don't have control of the future. Now, you can have the intention to, of course, make your future better, but you can't control the outcomes of how things will play out. We see it all the time. Look at this pandemic. Who knew this? You can't control things like that. So the only place that we can control is right now. Now, when you're in the future, you might be excited. It's perfectly fine. You might be motivated. It's perfectly fine. But many people are projecting themselves into that future and experiencing anxiety because they're imagining something going wrong. So I encourage and challenge you all, instead of thinking about things going wrong, ask yourself, well, what if this does work out? What if things work out in my favor? What if this path is taking me down where I need to be? So I encourage you all, instead of thinking about choosing, because you have choices, choosing to go the pessimistic route and feeling like things won't work out, I encourage and challenge you all to choose to believe things will work out. Because you all, things are always constantly working out in your favor. And I know why, because you're right here, right now. You're exactly where you need to be every single moment, every single time. And the only way that you will enjoy your next set of current circumstances is if you become more mindful, because your choices, again, are creating that next set of circumstances here. You all made the choice to get on, and thank you so much, this workshop today. You all made the choice to register for this workshop. You all made the choice, if you have some on, to put on the clothes that you have on right now. You all made the choice to work where you work with right now. Now, you may not have made the choice to choose your family, but you make the choice to choose who you would like to deal with in your family. You make the choice to choose your friends. You make the choice every single day. You are constantly, every single second, moment, making choices. And those choices are equating to your next set of circumstances. So, this is why we want to practice mindfulness. Do I have any questions so far?
No questions yet.
Great. So let's talk about our first mindfulness tool, you all, to help you overcome this anxiety. So, first of all, we need to confront who we're dealing with here. So, let's talk about getting curious and becoming the audience member. So there is so much happening in our lives, you all. We have our thoughts, we have our emotions, we have energy levels, we're dealing with life, we have our kids. If you have some, you have your jobs and the things that you quote unquote worry about. And it's like you're trying to hold it all together. And everything is constantly changing, our moods, our wishes, our desires. It's a full time job trying to create control for all of this. And we think some way, somehow, if we cling on to our negative thoughts or emotions, that we have control. But what I want you all to realize, our negative thoughts and emotions are just like clouds. They come and they go. And that is our thoughts. But when you think about it, the bigger question is, who is clinging on to these obsessive thoughts? So as you go deeper, you all, we all have something within us, which is our audience member, AKA awareness. So, this is awareness of your thoughts, awareness of your passing emotions, and not infusing itself into your thoughts and emotions. Just recognizing, because it's observing and just being aware that, you know what, this is just a thought. It doesn't have to be true. This is just an emotion. This does not just have to be true. But what happens is we forget we are awareness because we have what we call this conscious self. And our conscious self gets so fixed on the movie mental picture that we're creating in our head when we project ourselves into the future and imagine something going wrong. And we forget that we're the audience member, which is awareness, meaning that it does not have to turn out that way and it does not have to be true. So think of it like this as an analogy. If it was pre-COVID, or we'll say post-COVID, and I said, all right, you all, I'm going to take all of you all to a movie theater. And you don't know what the movie is about. You don't know the title of the movie. I just told you we're going. And so we're in that movie theater and you realize it's cold and it gets dark and the movie starts playing. And you forget that you're in the movie theater because the movie gets so good and you might be yelling at the movie or cursing at the movie or enjoying the movie, laughing at the movie, engaging with the movie, and you forget you're in the movie theater because it's so good and you're so into it. Think of that as the analogy of what happens when you project yourself into the future and you imagine something going wrong and you experience anxiety. Your audience member or your awareness forgets again that all is well in that moment when you are doing that and creating that movie mental picture that is paralyzing your growth. So I want you to realize, you all, you do not have to give the anxiety the power that it needs. And it needs that power because it wants that awareness from you. And you do not have to give it that awareness. So let's talk about some more ways that we can overcome that. So, mindfulness tool number 2, anchoring, one of my favorites here. So, a guy named Dr. Benson, he's a Harvard medical doctor. He's a school cardiologist. And basically, he came up with something which is called the relaxation technique. So, you all, this is something that you can use when you are experiencing anxiety to bring yourself back into the present moment. Because remember, the present moment is the only place where peace can reside. And also, I forgot to mention, when you practice mindfulness, you all, it brings your anxiety down from a 10 to a 5. Now, we won't say from a 10 to a 0 because that's things we do when we want to numb out what's going on in our heads. So that might be through drinking a lot or engaging in drugs or engaging and throwing ourselves into work and overworking ourselves and becoming burnt out or whatever it is that you do that's not good to help you to cope with your anxiety. But mindfulness is your antidote, you all, because it will bring it down from a 10 to a 5. And if it is from a 10 to a 0 when you're doing those things that doesn't help with your anxiety, at the end of the day, once you're done with it, what you are still facing will still be there. So I would rather you all bring it down from a 10 to a 5 and getting aware of what's going on versus a 10 to a 0 and still having to face that 10 once you're done with that. Now, going back to anchoring, so Dr. Herbert Benson created this relaxation technique to help people to relax, do away with their stress, as well as to decrease their anxiety. So let's talk about how we do this. So the first mindfulness tool that we have today is the 5 sense check-in. So what I want you all to do right now is to look for 5 different objects around your room that you are currently in right now. As you are going from object to object, I want you all to look at the colors, observe the textures, the patterns, and each time you have a thought that is not about that current object that you're looking at, go on to the next object. And when you have your 5, please close your eyes and keep them closed. All right, and now with your eyes closed, I want you to invoke the sense of sound. Listen for 4 different objects or sounds, that is coming out of your current room. As you're going from each sound, please just observe. With your eyes still closed, now I want you to invoke the sense of smell. Deeply breathe in for 3 seconds and out your mouth for 3 seconds. With your eyes still closed, now I want you to invoke the sense of taste. Run your tongue across your teeth and then swallow. And now, with your eyes still closed, I want you to invoke the sense of touch. You can touch your skin, you can touch your clothes, and just observe the texture and how it feels. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right, so in the chat box, I want you all to say yes or no. Did anyone in here think about the future or the past as you were going through that exercise? Jill, what do we have?
Nope. Not at all.
Exactly. So you all, this is a check-in. Please do this when you're somewhere safe. So do not do this when you're driving, okay? But please do the 5 senses check-in when you are experiencing anxiety to help you to bring yourself back into the present moment. Because remember, when you are having anxiety, you are in the future. So bring yourself back into the present moment where peace can reside. Think of it as bringing yourself back to peace. The more that you integrate and practice mindfulness in your life, you all, it will help you bring more peace into your life as well as clarity and less stress and less burnt outness. So let's move on to our next tool.
Hey, Allynn, really quick. What was mindfulness tool number 1? Someone was asking.
Yeah, let's go back. So mindfulness tool number 1 was getting curious, becoming the audience member. So that goes back to what I was saying about asking yourself, well, what if things does work out? You know, what if things are working out in my favor? What if this is meant to happen? Just getting curious about what is causing that anxiety there and how can you challenge that?
Yeah.
No problem. All right, so let's talk about mindfulness tool number 3. So please chat in the chat box if you meditate, AKA going to the brain gym. So yes. What are they saying, Jill? I see it going crazy.
Have once every few weeks. Yes, no, I don't know. Sometimes.
Okay.
Mix of answers.
All right, love the mix. All right, no worries at all, no judgment, you all. So meditation, mindfulness tool number 3. So you all, as we have to physically work out our bodies, we have to do the same thing with our brains. Meditation is going to help you to decrease your anxiety, decrease your stress. It's a form of practicing mindfulness, so more peace, and it will allow you to be in the present moment more. First of all, you all, we have over 60,000 thoughts per day. I repeat, we have over 60,000 thoughts per day. And if you're going from thought to thought to thought to thought to thought to thought to thought, No wonder you're exhausted. No wonder you're burnt out. No wonder you have anxiety. No wonder you have stress. No wonder there is a lack of clarity. If you want more clarity, if you want more serene type of lifestyles, if you want more peace, more joy, this mindfulness, AKA practicing meditation, is one of your antidotes. So I always encourage my clients as well as my students to practice meditation for at least 10 time minutes per day. Now, if you do not meditate 10 times minutes per day, and if you feel like that is too big of a jump, it's perfectly fine. Decrease it to 5 minutes. If 5 minutes is too much, perfectly fine. Decrease it to 3 minutes. If that is too much, decrease it to one. And if 1 minute is too much, it's okay. Start with a couple of breaths. But the purpose of this is to get you into the habit and get you into the mode of practicing meditation. Now, the reason why you want to practice meditation, you all, is because you want to learn how to keep yourself being in the present moment more. So people always ask me, how can I be in the present moment more? I want more peace. I want less anxiety. I want less stress. You all have to train your brain. And the best way to train your brain is being still. Now, there's different forms of meditation. I do not tell people there's a right way to meditate. There is no right or wrong way, to be honest. But there are different variations and forms of practicing meditation. So I would say find what works best for you. So I'm the type of person, I can sometimes get distracted easily. So on those type of days, I do guided meditations. Guided meditations will simply have someone speaking, and it can allow you to be more in the present moment because you're listening for something. So if you're interested in guided meditations, get on YouTube. They have free guided meditations about any subject. So about abundance, peace, joy, anxiety, stress, just type it in YouTube or even in Google. They also have guided meditation in free apps. So you have Calm, Simple Mind, all types of free apps. Just type in your app store meditation apps, and I'm pretty sure that plenty will show up, at least 100 for free. Also, I know Oprah and Deepak, also does free 21-day meditation. So I would look into that and see when their next one is coming up. But again, there's different types of resources you all can use to help you meditate. If you feel comfortable, and they also have, hopefully post-COVID, some more meditation groups. I will look for meditation groups online as well, so you can do that virtually. But the purpose is to get you into that mode of practicing it consistently. Because you all, the more that you practice meditation, what will happen is it'll spill in other areas of your life. So let's say you go through your day and you find yourself doing the negative self-talk and chatter, and you feel yourself about to experience anxiety. Because you went to that brain gym that morning, you can stop yourself and say, I don't have to do this. This is a choice. I don't have to make the choice to listen to this. And you can go ahead and move forward. And it sounds very simple, you all. It is. Things are as easy or difficult as you would like it to be. And the way it can be more easier for you is if you make it a habit and practice it consistently. So this is why I encourage you all to practice meditation, again, consistently. Do I have any questions about meditation? Okay, great. Now, another mindfulness tool. So we call this the body awareness. So this is one of my favorite things here, you all. So what I want you to do is have your palm facing your hand like this. And we are going to take our index finger on the other hand. And we are going to start right here, and we're going to trace all the way up. And as we're tracing up, we're going to inhale. And as we're tracing down, we're going to exhale. And we're going to come all the way to our other side of our hand. So let's do this together. So inhale going up, exhale coming down. Inhale going up, exhale going 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 down. All right. Please type in the chat box while you all were practicing the hand meditation. Did anyone think about the future or regret the past? What do we have, Jill?
Lots of no's.
All right, great. So you all, this is another tool that you can use to bring yourself back into the present moment and decrease that anxiety in that moment you're doing it or having it, or experiencing it, and decreasing your stress. So if you find yourself having stress or anxiety if you're at work, do the hand meditation, aka the calm palm. If you find yourself having anxiety in your bed and it's 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, try the hand meditation. And again, this will bring you back into the present moment, and you can get curious and become that audience member and ask yourself, what is the cause of this anxiety? And then you'll be able to figure out what was that triggering thought that ended up allowing you to experience that anxiety. One of my favorite things to do here, the calm palm. All right. So, does anyone in here journal? Any yeses or nos? How do we feel about journaling?
Sometimes yes, no,
All right.
variety.
So, again, you all, I want you all to realize we have, again, 60,000 thoughts per day. And we need to learn how to monitor those thoughts, but not in the way that it overwhelms us. So, a way that you can get a lot of these thoughts out of your head is putting it pen to paper. Now, a few things here. When it comes to journaling, some people ask, can I type it up? The answer is you can, but it's more powerful if you do pen to paper. It's just something about writing it down because it's coming from inside of you versus coming from a computer, aka artificial intelligence. So I would highly encourage you all to journal pen and paper. So we are going to practice journaling, and I am going to tell you or show you all how powerful it is. So, right now, you all, I want you to think of a current fear that you are experiencing in your life. I want you all to describe this fear. I want you all to name this fear and tell me where it is living in your body, and you can describe its color and texture. I will give you all 1 minute to do this, and you may begin now. All right, and stop. Now, regarding that same fear, I now want you to write about what the worst that could happen is and go. All right, and stop. And finally, our last prompt regarding that same fear. The best that could happen is and go. All right, and stop. Okay, I would love to hear in the chat box. I'm looking for a volunteer just to tell us your experience of what you got out of the journaling. So you don't have to tell us what you put, but instead what you got out of doing that. So if you're interested in sharing your experience, please type in the chat box me. And Jill, can you please pick the first person and unmute them that says me? Again, I'm looking for the experience that you got out of that, not what you shared or wrote down, I should say.
All right. Have a volunteer, except their name is iPhone. So I hope I'm unmuting the right person.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
What's your name?
Karen?
Hi, Karen. Nice to meet you. All right. So what would you like to share of what you got out of that experience of journaling?
Well, I guess I got, I'm more about, listening to, now like, this time listening more to pen on paper, I guess in terms of it being, sort of to make it more of a multi-sensory experience, sort of following up on your previous, 5 senses exercise. And I guess, I also volunteer. So I want to ask a question about,
Absolutely.
about what you think about journaling versus just talking aloud to yourself. And, and whether, talking to yourself, affords the same type of release that, that journaling is supposed to allow for self-expression and, I guess memorializing your thoughts.
Absolutely. So that's a great question, Karen. With that being said, the reason why, we can talk out loud all day about our thoughts. Many people do that, right? But we all still experience anxiety, right? So when you're able to get things out on pen and paper, now you're allowing yourself to get out of your own head because you're seeing it physically. And you're able to look at it from a different perspective because it's not in your mind anymore. And think of your mind and your thoughts like precious real estate. If you want more room for joy, creativity, peace, ease, and less stress, you have to declutter your mind with all of the stuff that's stressing you out and all of the stuff that's causing that anxiety and all of the other stuff that you don't want. So the perfect way to vent and get all of that things out of your mind is putting it on pen to paper. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to share their experience of what they got out of journaling? Again, you don't have to share what you put, but just what you got out of that. Was there anybody else who volunteered, Jill?
Not yet.
Okay. No worries. All right. So let's go on to our next thing.
Cynthia volunteered.
Oh, okay. Cool. You can unmute her.
Side note, we're at almost at 1:45, just a heads up.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Awesome.
Hi.
All right, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi.
So what did you get out of doing that journaling exercise?
I would say when I was doing the second part where it's like, what's the worst thing could happen? I think I kind of got into a negative space. And then when we got to what's the best thing that could happen, I definitely quickly went into a more hopeful headspace. So I think it was kind of nice to start off with the worst thing that could happen and then end with the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah. No
And you all, if you practice this every single day and made this consistent, now you're able to see, what is going on in your life. How can you help yourself overcome the situation? And you're able again to look at it from an outside perspective instead of inner perspective, which will cause you even more stress and anxiety. So that is what we want to avoid. All right, let's move forward. So, mindfulness tool number 7, worry time. So, the key to this, you all, is to take out your phone and you'll pick a time. And this is for all of my worrying warriors. So, if you worry a lot, this is for you. So, you'll pick a time, either 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., either one, it doesn't matter. And you'll make an event or an alarm that says worry time. And the gist of this game is when that alarm rings at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., you have 30 minutes to give yourself to worry. So how this works is you're going through your day and you're being mindful and you catch yourself worrying. You say, worry time is at 8 p.m. It's at 9 p.m. And you continue on with your day. And then if you have another worry, you say, no, worry time is at 8 p.m. It's at 9 p.m. Not now. And you'll do this throughout your day. By the time it gets 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., you'll find that alarm goes off and then you'll try to start worrying. And then you'll say, you know what, this is stupid. Why am I sitting here trying to really force myself to worry right now? And now what has happened is you've saved your day yourself of having a full day of not worrying, because a lot of the worrying, you all, that we worry about is so simple and small, but it creates so much stress and anxiety in our lives because we just keep doing that over and over. So this is a great way of breaking the habit of worrying a lot. Now, life is real. Let's talk about it. Let's say that 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. time comes up and you are worrying. Allow yourself to feel your emotions. Allow yourself to worry about what it is that you're worrying about. But I would encourage you to do some productive worrying. So maybe you can journal about what's causing you the worry and how you can overcome that. Maybe that's a time for you to just be still and practice meditation, maybe finding a guided meditation about worrying, or however you would like to spend your 30 minutes of worrying. And then once it's done, you repeat that. And it sounds corny or it might sound simple, you all, but the more that you practice this, I practice it myself, it truly works. All of these tools I'm teaching you all today, it works, especially if you practice it consistently.
Hey, Allynn, we have a question. Do you need to practice this every day, or do you suggest practicing?
I would suggest practicing this every day until your worry really decreases tremendously. And it most definitely helps. A lot of people practice this and finds that it helps very quickly. But what happens is people stop practicing it consistently and they find themselves back at where they started. So I would practice this for a while, every single day, until you really got the gist of it and you know what you're doing, to the point you don't even need the alarm anymore. It's just second nature. All right, so let's talk about one of our last tools here. So, beginner's mind, the 15-minute mindfulness exercise. So what this is for 15 minutes, you can either do a color walk, or you can shower, or you can cook. And how it works is, if you do the color walk, you'll pick a color before you start walking that you would like to locate. And as you're going on that walk, get rid of all of distractions. This should be by yourself. This is practicing mindfulness. And you just go on that walk and identify either in your mind or out loud the color that you picked at the beginning. This will help you, number one, stay out of your thoughts. Number two, be present and in the moment. And number three, you'll start to have gratitude because you start noticing the little things that actually bring you joy. You can also do the same thing with showering. Just be in your shower. You can do that 5 senses check-in, smell how the water smells. You can also listen for the sounds that the water is making, feel how it feels on your skin, and all of that good jazz there. You can also do the same thing if you're cooking. So listen, you all, a lot of times we know the difference between meals that are made out of love and meals that are quickly rushed, right? So allow yourself to make some meal out of love and really be in that present moment and get curious, about your food and observe the colors and the textures and how it smells. Be there in that moment. Be grateful that you have food in a place to cook it. A lot of people don't. And a lot of times we take that for granted because we're being unmindful. So those are 3 ways that you can practice that mindfulness exercise there. And finally, the be here now alarm. So we want to see where our thoughts are majority of the time. So with that being said, you will set your phone for 3 different times throughout the day, the morning, afternoon, and evening. And it can say be here now, or in my phone, I have where is your mind? And I want you to set them randomly. But if you know you have meetings at 8 a.m. in the morning, do not set your alarm at 8 a.m. in the morning. Do it randomly, please. But when that alarm goes off and says, be here now, or where is your mind? I want you to stop and ask yourself, what was my last thought? Because that is going to tell you majority of the time where your thoughts are. Are they in the past a lot? Are they in the future a lot? Or are they in the present moment? So now I just want everyone to close their eyes, and this is just about trust and acceptance here. So, acceptance, you all, requires that you look upon yourself. It requires that you look onto others in the world basically in an entirely new way. So, you have to be willing to let go of your ideas of how your circumstances should be and simply accept the way that it is in this present moment. Because what happens is when you accept something, you are completely releasing judgment of it and avoiding any attempts to fight against or change it. So, for example, if you all were to accept this present moment in time, which means that right now you acknowledge that everything is a result of a very long and just complicated chain of events, and you may be responsible for some and you may not be responsible for some. But many events have happened to bring you to precisely where you are right now. So, reality, I can understand you all can sometimes be painful, and it is natural to want to push away those things that are causing you that pain, causing you that hurt and that suffering. And the idea of even accepting it, much less embracing a painful reality, may seem terrifying here. But I want you to all to realize and consider that reality doesn't change just because you deny it exists. I repeat, reality doesn't change just because you deny it exists. It's still there waiting for you to deal with that. So when you open yourself up to accepting the present moment precisely as it is with no judgments, you all are free to look at those puzzle pieces of the present moment and really start to piece those things together. Also, I encourage you all to stop wanting things just to be different because when you find yourself obsessing about the past or worrying about the future, ask yourself the following question, you all. Can I do something about this right now? If the answer is no, do your best to accept what it is and just take a breath and do something that brings you joy. And if the answer is yes, identify what that is and, like Nike, just do it. All right, so you can open your eyes there. All right, Jill. So this is the end of our workshop here. Sorry about that. So I am accepting complimentary calls if you enjoyed today's workshop. Again, I specialize in helping professionals to decrease their burnout and creating a roadmap to help them to have a healthy work-life balance. If you are suffering from anxiety, if you're suffering from stress, if you feel like your life is out of balance and you need more balance in your life, I am that go-to person to talk to. So I'm hoping you all can see how these tactics can work for you to decrease your anxiety. I promise I use these tools for myself. It's been a time where I was carjacked as well as getting a brand new car, and that car got into a car accident. And I had a ton of anxiety, and I had just lost my job. And I'm like, holy moly, how am I going to get a job? And I don't have a car, and I just got carjacked, and all of this stuff is happening. And guess what? I had to use all of those tools that I taught you all today. And I gave myself 24 hours to molt because I never tell my clients to suppress their feelings. If you feel negative, by golly means, go for it, feel it, but you don't have to act on it. And by that next day, you all, I was able to look at that from a different, fresh perspective and realize everything that happened to me was for a reason. And also, it ended up being a super big blessing. So again, all of those tools that you learned today, I use it myself and they will work. Just please keep practicing. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor for questions.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Ahmed, and I have a kind of related question. I see that it was anxiety, but as you said, there is not any external things causing the anxiety. But
Causing the worry.
yeah, but I felt totally differently because I had a lot of pressure from outside, and then I was dealing with a couple things at a time at my job and the pressure from my family, which caused the anxiety. So how you deal with that kind of pressure from the family and the pressure from the job? So it seems like both are external pressures or the reasons causing me anxiety. So how you can do that to not get into that point you get the anxiety attacks?
Yeah, so I wanted to explain that, and that's a very good question there. So externally, it may make you feel like you're getting anxiety from that, but where the anxiety is stemming from and the pressure is stemming from is from the thoughts that you're formulating around the issue. That is internal work there. So from the pressure that you feel that you've created for yourself, that is where that anxiety is coming from. So although that might be external factors, internally you're feeling that because of your thought patterns and what you allow the pressure that these people are putting on you to take a hold of your life, or you have the opportunity to not allow that pressure to take a hold of your life and you can deal with it in a healthier way. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, kind of, but like it just gets into the nerve, and it to that point where I lose the consciousness of that, like how I can heal. It's kind of hard to just
Absolutely.
to the to like doctors cannot operate on themselves. So if you are in that situation, you cannot. That's the But it doesn't happen that much a lot. I came over the things and the stuff, but it happened once and it just cost me my job. So that's why I was just like want to ask that question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can understand totally where you come from with that. But hopefully, this doesn't happen again. But the next time that you start to feel those pressures and you feel yourself starting to want to like explode or pop, that is when you can use those tools that I've taught you today to help you to bring yourself back into the moment so you can get clear of what's going on. Because what happens is when you're experiencing that anxiety, you're not able to make clear choices that will help you. You're making choices out of fear, which can hinder you. So if you're able to bring yourself back into that present moment and really get clear, okay, this is what's going on in my life. Let me figure out how I can deal with that. And if you're able to figure out how to deal with that with a more clear mindset, your outcome might be completely different than what you got before.
Thank
So
you.
this is absolutely. And that's why I highly encourage you practice mindfulness right now. Don't start when you have something that's going on and you're like, "Oh crap, I got to hurry up and do this." Do it now. So this can be a habit and it won't even get you to that point. You'll be able to have more control and power over what's going on externally or how whatever is going on externally, how it affects you, if that makes sense. All right, any other questions here? And thank you so much you all for staying on this long. I appreciate your time and energy. You're so welcome, Tonya. You're welcome, Adrian. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Tanley, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Since we are up at time, actually, I'm just going to go ahead. Allynn, I'm just sharing your individual consult link since people are asking for it. So thank you all again so much. And I know that this is it's a lot. It's such a tricky topic, to navigate because everyone's experiences are so different. But I think just having these kind of foundational guidelines and these tools to keep in your back pocket to help you navigate is so important, because that tunnel vision of only focusing on what's wrong can be really debilitating. I experience extreme anxiety myself, and it's something that we're always working on, right? It's like building that muscle. We can't get rid of anxiety altogether, but we can learn to live with it and not be so scared of it.
And decrease it a lot. A lot of my clients who I work with personally one-on-one, their anxiety really decreases very quickly because we get to the root of what is the cause and what can you do about it. And a lot of times you can't understand what you do about it when you're experiencing that anxiety and it just feels like you're in a hole and it's like, holy crap, I can't get out of this. So I don't want you all ever to get to that point. So I promise you, if you continue to practice these tools, especially like right now, especially consistently, it'll be able to help with that a lot. All right. Well, if there's not any other questions, I look forward to seeing you all in my consult boxes and helping to bring more balance into your life and decreasing that stress and anxiety. And I truly appreciate you all showing up today.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We'll give everyone 1 minute back. Thank you again, Allynn. So wonderful, much needed today.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Yes, the recording is the recording made available, Jill?
Yep. I will
Okay.
be sending a recording out either today or tomorrow.
Yes, Randy. So it will be available.
Yeah. All right. You're welcome. All right. All right, Allynn. Well,
All
thank you again. And hope to see everyone around for another event sometime soon.
Yes. All right.
Stay
Have a
well.
good one, Jill.
All right, you too. Bye.